students, myself Shivlila Vibhute welcome you to Nagesh Karasgi Orchid School. So children, today I am going to teach you grammar. In the previous session, as we have learned about the poem as well as the passage. Now today we will go through the poem again and then we are going to find out the answers given for the questions. Okay? So now, in the previous session children, I explained you this poem, Worm in My Pocket, and we have read this passage. So once again, I am going to read out this interesting poem and then afterwards we are going to answer the questions that are given below. So you have to listen carefully children. One rainy day on my way home from school, I found a big worm and thought it was cool. I picked up the worm with my bare hand, held it up high, thinking how grand. The worm was so cute and wiggled a lot. I put him in my pocket to show Mom what I had caught. What will she say when I show her my find? Will she let me keep it? I hope she won't mind. Mom was in the kitchen when I showed her what I had found. She screamed, "No way! Put it back on the ground." Now I am so angry. She always says no. If she won't let me keep it, then I will just go. So me and my worm packed a sandwich or two, ran out the door and down the street we both flew. We walked to the park and sat on a bench. I pulled out my worm and noticed a snitch. He looked kind of floppy but wiggled a bit. I thought, oh my gosh, my worm is not fit. I laid him in the dirt and let him go free. I guess that my pocket was not the best place to be. So children, now again I have read out the poem, okay? So now we are going to solve this exercise, okay? Answer the questions given below. So now you have to write with me. You have to write the answers in a good and neat handwriting without any mistake. Now children, what did the poet find on a rainy day? You have to find out the answer for this question from the passage. That is, poem. Now this is the poem. You have to read. As I said you have to choose a word there. For example, what did the poet find on a rainy day? So you can have that rainy day written somewhere in the poem. One rainy day on my way home from school, I found a big worm and thought it was cool. So children, listening to this stanza, you can say that what did the poet poet get? Yes, the poet found what? A big worm on a rainy day. A big worm on a rainy day. So children, what did the poet find on a rainy day? The poet found a big worm on a rainy day. You had to copy in your textbook, children. The second question is, what did the poet do with the worm? Yes, what did he do? Shall we go back to the poem? Yes, let's see what he did. As we saw here till here, that I found a big worm and thought it was cool. Now here, what did the poet do? I picked up the worm with my bare hand, held it up high, thinking how grand. The worm was so cute and wiggled a lot. I put him in my pocket to show mom what I had got. So what did he do? Yes. So children, here, the poet put it in his pocket and then what he did? For what he put in his pocket? And took it home and took it home. Children, if you don't have space, you can use this space to write. Okay? Took it home. For what? To show whom? Yes, his mother. Full stop. So children, the poet put it in his pocket and took it home to show his mother. Okay? If you don't have space, use this line to write. The way I wrote, just see the way I wrote. Yes, children. Tick, the third one is tick the correct sentences. Now here, A, B and C, these three sentences are given. You have to tick the correct sentences. Okay? Mother was happy to see the worm. In the poem, when we were reading the poem, was mother happy to see that worm? No, she was not happy at all, na? She screamed, she shouted, na? So, it's not the correct sentence. The poet liked the worm and thought it was cute. Yes, children. So, what did he feel? Is it right? The poet liked the worm, so only he kept in his pocket, right? And thought it was cute. As the worm was, the poet said that it was so cute. So it is the correct sentence. In the poem also the same thing is mentioned. And here, see, in the end, the worm was left free. At the end of the poem, if you remember, the worm was feeling not fit. It was feeling unfit, uneasy. So what did the poet do? He let it down on the ground, right? So he let him free. So it is the right sentence. So you have to take B and C. These two sentences are correct. The above, A1 is not correct. Mother was not happy at all to see the worm. So we have to tick only this B and C. Now the fourth one, pick words from the poem which mean opposite to the words given below. So we have to pick the words from the poem which mean opposite to the words given here. That is, A is up. Up, in the poem we have the opposite of this up, right? It is down. You have to put the sign and write down. And the second B1 word is pushed. So the opposite word is pulled. P-U-L-L-E-D, pulled. You can see these words in the poem. The stanza is here. So me and my worm packed a sandwich or two, ran out the door and down the street we both flew. The word down is mentioned there in the poem. And we walked to the park and sat on a bench. I pulled out my worm and noticed the stitch. So pulled word has been mentioned there in that stanza in the poem. You can find out, children. Okay. So you have to read it again. You have to read the poem again and again. Yes. Yes, children. Now we are going to read a story now. Okay. You love stories now? And we will enjoy this story now. Okay? The name of the story is Finding a Home for Chotu. Page number 80, okay? Finding a Home for Chotu. Read the story given below. Now children, again, this is a story and again we have to answer the questions here after reading this story. Now you have to listen carefully. Chotu was a small boy. He was poor. He swept floors and washed cars in Jhilmil colony. Chotu wanted to study but had no money to go to school. He did not have parents. He lived on the streets. Big boys often hit him. Let's find a home for Chotu, Rolly said to Molly. They got an idea. Their aunt Sujata did not have children. They went to her and told her about the poor boy. Aunt Sujata was touched and met him. She loved the sweet boy and took him as her son. Chotu got a home and a loving mother. He was very happy. So children, Enjoyed the story, na? And it's a heart-touching story, right? See, the story is about Chotu. Chotu was a small boy. He was very poor. He was not rich, he did not had any money. Okay, he was poor. He swept floors and washed cars. He swept the, means he used to clean the floors and washed cars in Jilmil colony. The name of the colony is Jilmil colony. Chotu wanted to study but had no money to go to school. See children, he was so poor that he wanted to study but he had no money. No one was there to take care of him. No one was there to even, he had no even parents. See, he did not have parents to look after him. So he wanted to study but had no money to go to school. He lived on the streets. See, he did not have even a home where he could stay. He lived on the streets. Big boys often hit him. So big boys used to often hit him as he was very small boy. See how poor boy he is, children. Now, Roly and Molly, these two girls, what they thought, let's find a home for Chotu. See how nice they thought about this small boy Chotu. No, they got an idea. Now what was the idea? That their aunt Sujata did not have children. She did not have any child. Any children she did not have. So they went to her and told her about the poor boy. So these two, Roly and Molly, went to Aunt Sujata and they told her about this poor boy Chotu. Okay. Aunt Sujata was touched and met him. She felt bad. She felt very bad listening about Chotu. And she went to meet Chotu. She loved the sweet boy and took him as her son. So as she was touched, what she did? She loved the sweet boy and took him, adopted him as his son. Chotu got a home and a loving mother. Aunt Sujata used to love him a lot. So he got a mother and he was very happy. So Chotu was very happy. Nice na story, children? So how lucky you and we are, right? To have parents, to have a home to live in. So always we should think good of others. Now we will answer the questions here given below. So children, what work did Chotu do? Now here we have to answer the question, what work did Chotu do? We have listened to the story, right? You have the story in your textbook. So now you have to find out the answer for this question, that what work did Chotu do? So here Chotu, as I said you what? Chotu swept floors. You have to copy the answer from the passage, children. Swept floors. And what? Yes, and washed. What? Cars. It's given in the passage, children. There only. Where? In Jilmil colony, right? Full stop. Chotu swept floors and washed cars in Jilmil colony. What work he used to do? It is asked. You have to copy in a good handwriting in your textbook, children, without any spelling mistake. The second one, why did Chotu not go to school? Chotu wanted to study, but what happened, children? It's in the story. He had no money, right? He was poor, na children? To go to school. Chotu wanted to study, but he had no money to go to school. Who took Chotu as her son? Yes, children. What was that lady's name? You have to find out from the story. Yes. Aunt A-U-N. Aunt Sujata, right? S-U-J-A-T-H-A. Aunt Sujata took Chotu as her son. It is given in the story, children. You can find out and you have to write the answer from there. So what work did Chotu do? Chotu swept floors and washed cars in Jilmil colony. Why did Chotu not go to school? Chotu wanted to study, but he had no money to go to school. Who took Chotu as her son? Aunt Sujata took Chotu as her son. Now children, B, exercise B. Tick the correct statement. We have to tick only the correct statements here. Okay. So the first sentence is, Chotu was a poor boy. Yes, he was a poor boy, right? It's written in the story. So you have to tick that statement. He did not have parents. Yes, he did not have parents, na? It is right. You have to tick it. Tick that sentence. Now the third one, Roly and Molly did not help Chotu. Children, Roly and Molly, actually they helped na Chotu. They said Aunt Sujata to about Chotu. Okay. They said Aunt Sujata about Chotu. So actually Roly and Molly helped Chotu. So we don't have to do anything there, leave it blank, as we have to only tick the correct statement. Okay? So it is not a correct statement. Aunt Sujata did not have children. Yes, she did not have children, so only she adopted Chotu, right? So here you have to tick. Now the fifth one, Aunt Sujata did not like Chotu. It is a wrong sentence, children. In the story it is said that Aunt Sujata loved him a lot, right? So we have to leave it blank, we don't have to do anything there. Now we will go to the sixth one. Chotu did not want to study. He was fond of studies, right? He wanted to go to school, but he had no money, he was poor. So this sentence also is totally wrong. So we don't have to do anything, we have to leave it blank. Roly and Molly were good children. because Roly and Molly helped this poor boy Chotu. So they were good children, right? So it is a correct sentence. Helping others is very good habit, right? So they both were good children. So children, now the first sentence, Chotu was a poor boy, is correct. The second sentence, he did not have parents, is correct. The fourth sentence, Aunt Sujata did not have children, is correct. And the last seventh sentence, Roly and Molly were good children, is correct. Okay? So now, we are going to solve the below exercise with the help of that story itself. Okay? Now see children here. Look at the words. Exercise C. Look at the words given below and pick opposite words from the story. So from the story itself you are going to get the opposite of these words. Opposite of big. Yes, it's in the story itself. Chotu was a small boy, right? So, small. Put the sign of opposite and write small there. Rich. Yes, Chotu was a poor boy, no? So, opposite of rich is poor. And very easy, opposite of sad is, Chotu was happy. So, opposite of big is small. Opposite of rich is poor. Opposite of sad is happy. So, yes children, today we have solved the exercise related to the poem Worm in My Pocket. Okay? And we have even read a story, Finding a Home for Chotu. We have solved the exercise of the same. Now you have to revise and read again this story and poem and go through the exercises. Okay? Bye.